There's no better feeling than knowing that you gave 100% and that there was nothing left to give.
Rain or shine, I push myself to the limit every day.
It is apparent that Spain is taking strides to increase women's participation in sports. The women in sports movement came later than the movement in the U.S. According to a retrospective analysis of 3 surveys conducted by Domingo Palacio Sena and others in 2000, 2005, and 2010, the overall prevalence of sport-active women in Spain increased from about 27% to about 33%.
In fact, the Olympic Games are a prime example of how women in Spain have become more present in sports. Women made up 114 of the 250 athletes that were represented in the London 2012 Olympic Games. Spain won 17 medals in the Games. 11 of them were won by women, which is 65% of the medals won overall. This is quite the step up from recent Olympic Games. In the London Games, participants were 45% women, up from 42% in 2008 Beijing Games and 23% in the '84 Los Angeles Games.
Normally, women don't participate, in my opinion, in sports in group, like football or.
Yeah.
I think women in general go to the gym to do aerobics or yogas or pilates. I think men is more in a group, like football or something like this.
Okay.
I used to run and I come here every day. But I think the most of the women in Spain used to run or do something related with dance, maybe Zumba or something like that.
Women's practice is running.
Running.
Yeah.
According to Sport and Women's Social Issues and International Perspective, the top sports for women are only individual sports. These include 1. Swimming, 2. Aerobics, rhythmic gymnastics and dance, 3. Fitness gymnastics, 4. Cycling, and 5. Jogging. Whereas amongst men, the top 5 most popular sports are team sports. Have you seen an increase in physical activity amongst women?
In the few years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe yes, see.
Yes, an increase? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Women are always taking care about her body or these kind of things.
Now, yes, there are more now. A lot.
Did something happen? Like, why do you think now?
No, I think it's just because we are a new generation and we share work, so we share with the children, the activities with the children, so we share this too. You know, I think my grandma maybe has to be at her house all the time because she don't work. You know, my mom, she has to be working and in my house. But maybe me, we are a new generation. I can be sometimes working, sometimes in my house, and sometimes here.
Do you think there's been an increase in women participation in? Yes.
Yes, in the last years, a lot of women going straight to the front.
Do you see a lot of
in the gym.
in the gym? Okay.
¿Qué es tu opinión sobre mujeres jugando deportistas?
Me gusta porque yo he sido deportista muchos años, entonces creo que el deporte femenino se tiene que valorar igual que el deporte masculino.
¿Siente discriminación de hombres sobre participar en los deportes?
Si siente discriminación sobre las mujeres, depende de qué deporte, creo que sí.
¿Por qué?
Porque, por ejemplo, el fútbol no está igual bien visto las mujeres que los hombres.
We interviewed Christina, a 47-year-old DIR worker who preferred not to be recorded on camera. Christina has been involved in sports her whole life. She was captain for many years of her handball team. Today, she still enjoys being active by working out. She told us that she used to play soccer with her brother and his friends, but mentioned that she would be the only girl in the field, and that resulted in strange looks and people asking her brother why she was there.
We asked 20 Spanish men and women at DIR and around the Gracia area about their opinion on women in sports. The majority of people said that they see an increase in the amount of women participating in sports.
Our research shows, though, that Spanish people are unaware of the issues still surrounding women's participation in sports. Equality of women athletes may be present during the Olympics, but when they return home, it's a completely different story. For example, the Spanish national women's handball team all signed up for non-Spanish clubs in recent years. The league is continuing to shrink with women moving to different countries because it's impossible to make a living now from handball in Spain. The loss of talent means it's difficult to form teams. One example is from a team called Exaco Navarro. The team won the Spanish League and Cup titles last season and was a finalist in the European League. It only was able to keep 2 of its 16 players it had at the end of last season. Spain's Female Basketball Federation, which is 4 times larger than the Handball League, is experiencing the same types of issues. In June, the league went bankrupt, and now most of its best players are signing up for foreign teams. Without any funding, women have no incentive to want to keep playing. It doesn't help that the male athletes and their coaches are unsupportive of female involvement in sports and don't treat them as equals in the sporting world. Recently, Rafael Nadal, Spain's most notable tennis player's coach, criticized the appointment of a woman as captain of Spain's Davis Cup team. He argued there are significant differences between men and women's games. He had the audacity to say, "I don't know what her capabilities are, and I hope she does her job well, because men's tennis isn't the same as women's tennis." Leon's capabilities, in the coach's words, include playing 651 WTA games and winning a title in the Madrid Open in 2000. She also played in the Fed Cup in 1996-97, 1991, and 2001. After she retired, she's been coaching women's tennis players. Leon responded to the sexist comments with grace, stating, "I'm not here to create a debate over sexism, rather to help Spain win the Davis Cup again." Leon will serve as the first woman to be appointed director of the Spanish Tennis Federation.
When I was growing up, girls just didn't run in public.
No one on my all-boys team would pass to me.
Dad told me I couldn't be a boxer. He said I was too small.
There was a guy who tried to spit on me and then push me out of his way.
There comes a point where you have to be sure of yourself. People aren't used to women being so passionate. It scares them.
One day, I just said it doesn't matter what other people think.
I'm a fashion model who can dunk.
I'm a girl. That doesn't mean I have to wear a skirt.
Doesn't mean I can't get all fired up. They used to say that girl is crazy.
But then I just kept winning.
I didn't set out to dominate. I just did.
Somebody's got to be the best. So why not me?
I'm 55 years old and I run close to 70 miles a week.
I never felt like quitting.
There's something telling me to do it every single day. Just want to play ball.
I am Cappy Pondexter.
Diana Taurasi.
Sherry Nelson.
I'm Peekaboo Street.
And I got something to say.
Female athletes have to overcome the bias that their game isn't as good as the men's game.
Are boys bigger, stronger, faster? Yes. Is that all that has to do with being an athlete? No.
The half pipe doesn't care that I'm a girl.
I want to pitch for the Boston Red Sox.
And when I look in the mirror, I see an athlete.
I am a runner.
A snowboarder.
Ball player.
Triathlete.
Softball player.
I am an athlete.
And I'm proud of that athlete.
It's not a girl thing. It's not a boy thing. It's a skills thing.
Even though the previous advertisement was filmed and produced in the US, it represents how women in Spain are still treated. We used this video clip because we couldn't find any advertisement or short video of women's sport movement in Spain. This shows that women in Spain are underrepresented in the sports media.
The media is what women need on their side to gain support and attention of fans. But unfortunately today, this isn't the case because they're extremely underrepresented. There is minimal, if any, media coverage in women's sports in Spain. This supports the idea that Spain is a male-dominant sporting society. When we read an issue of Mundo Deportivo, a sports newspaper, not one page covered any sort of current female sporting news and events. Even when reporting the Olympics in the past, the time covered for women's sports was way less time than the men's, regardless of the fact that there's just as many women athletes, and they're actually the ones winning a majority of the medals. The dialect of the announcers when talking about the women athletes is belittling when they constantly refer to the women athletes as girls. Before researching, we were unaware about all the Spanish sporting women's leagues that existed because of the fact that they aren't present in any magazines, newspapers, commercials, or advertisements.
We hope to see more representation of women in sports in the near future.